What's up everybody, Citizen Kimberly here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Today's video is going to be super exciting because I am going to review a movie that I have not reviewed before. It's kind of out of my genre, as you all know. I'm a big fan of horror movies, big huge fan. I'm going to review something that is a little bit uncharacteristic, a little bit unlike myself. We're going to be reviewing The Words, starring Bradley Cooper and Zoe Saldana. So now, Citizen Kimberly reviews. So the story starts off and we have a couple. And you know, unlike most movies that kind of start off romantic, like, it's not that cringe. You're not gonna feel like, we get it. We get that you're in love. Please stop. It's not like that. Zoe Saldana is super cute. They're in a limo and she's consoling him, telling him not to be nervous. And he's like, oh, I just never expected for this book to reach so many people, to be so powerful. And so basically we get kind of a story on to how this couple gets into the particular situation that they're in. And we find out that we're not really looking at the actual couple. We're looking at a flashback in time presented by Dennis Quaid. Now Dennis Quaid, he's at an event and he's reading passages from his new book. It's a critically acclaimed book. The audience is just filled with people. Everybody is just really deeply engrossed into what he's saying. So we flash back to Zoe Saldana and Bradley Cooper. We see their love story. We see how everything develops, and Bradley Cooper's kind of playing this dude who he really wants to be a writer. And he is a writer technically, but everything that he's tried to get published, he's sent it off to agents. He's not having a good time. His self-esteem is getting crushed minute by minute, but his rock is Zoe Saldana. And she's consoling him and she's really rooting for him. As the story progresses, we kind of see how Bradley Cooper and Zoe Saldana get married right after college. They're in Brooklyn. They take their honeymoon to Paris, and while they're in Paris they find this satchel at an antique store, and Bradley Cooper's scoping this out, and you can tell his gears are turning. He's like, yes, this is going to make me, this is going to kind of encompass who I am. As you can see, he's envisioning himself as the writer that he wants to become, having his manuscripts inside of this satchel. And so Saldana's like, she's so cute. She's like, I'll get it for you. And he's like, yes. So they're still in love, and they get back, and money is tight where they are, and he has to borrow money from his father. He has to suck it up, and you know how it is when you're broke and you have no money and you have to go to your parents. And it's kind of like a big crush to the self-esteem. And then his dad does this thing where he's like, you gotta become a man. And Bradley Cooper's like, what about my dreams? What about my life? You know the whole story where your parents they feel like they're enabling you, but really you know that you can do this. Meanwhile, he gets a job. He gets a job at a publishing agency because he's like, look, this is my way in. I can just shuffle my manuscripts to the head dude and he can, publish my book. Just publish my book is what he's trying to say. So we see Bradley Cooper kind of sitting in his apartment, and he's looking at the little satchel that Zoe Saldana has bought for him, and he's like, wow, geez, this is a great satchel. Let me just sift through this again. Inside of the satchel is a manuscript, and he looks at it and he's like, this is old and it's weathered, and he starts flipping and he starts reading it. He's like, oh my God. But by the time that he's finished reading this manuscript, his whole entire being is on the floor. His face is literally on the floor, and he can't pick it up. He can't sleep. He can barely eat. He's walking around like a zombie, fixated on the fact that this manuscript that he's found inside of this satchel is so utterly delicious, and he didn't write it. This is what he wanted to be, and somebody else did it, and here it is in this satchel that he's gotten from this antique store in Paris, and he can't be what he wants to be because somebody already did it. So it's in the middle of the night. He takes the manuscript out and he just starts typing it. Now his rationalization for this is because he just wanted to feel how it would be to put these words on his computer. And you really feel sorry for the guy. So days go on, and we get a shot of Zoe Saldana. She's crying. We're like, what happened? Is she pregnant? Which, of course, Bradley Cooper obviously asked her. And she's like, no, I just read the book that you have on your computer, and I just it's the best thing that you've ever written. And his face, I feel like Bradley Cooper is just oozing, like, you know what it's like to want to be something. And his wife, who he loves, has just seen this particular aspect that he wants, but it's not his. He thinks it's coming from him, and he's just like, oh, it's sad. So stupidly, he takes it to his publisher. The publisher is in awe, and he's like, let me publish this book for you. Bradley Cooper gets famous. Everything is like, his whole life is changing. He doesn't even have to work for the publisher anymore. He's now represented by the publisher. People are saying, oh my gosh, you're an epic writer. You're so epic. It's beautiful and wonderful. And inside, he has to keep this gnarly secret that he's fraudulent. His whole life is a lie, but he can't take it back. But can he? One day, there's an old man. Flash back and forth between Dennis Quaid, who's reading in front of the audience, and he describes the old man as the old man. So this old man inside of Dennis Quaid's story, he starts stalking Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper's just having one of his leisurely days since he's this hotshot big-time writer. And he sits down on this bench, and the old man follows him to the bench, and they have this odd conversation. But the old man, played by Jeremy Irons, is he's kind of aggressive, kind of sarcastic, but in this friendly way, and you can kind of tell like something is going down. And then he reveals that he is actually the man who wrote the story. At this point, Bradley Cooper's face is again on the floor. I can't tell you how many times Bradley Cooper's face is on the floor, and he's picking it up, but it keeps falling off. He's like a skeleton. He's like the dude in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. No, is Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the one where they find the Ark of the Covenant and the man's face just completely melts off. Well, that is Bradley Cooper throughout this film. So now I'm going to stop with the plot analysis, straight into my thoughts on the film. So what I have to say is this movie is excellent. Like I said previously when I started describing the movie, that it is not the kind of yucky romantic story that I just cringe at. I'm not a big fan of romances, of romance comedies. In practically anything that has a connotation of romance, I usually turn the other way and run. But this movie was a great big surprise. It is more of a mystery, it's more of a drama. There's definitely some meat and guts, and it does not focus on the romantic aspect of the film. In its totality, this was a really wonderful and beautifully shot film, and really it reminded me of a movie in the 80s. I don't know if purposely they tried to make it as such, like a period piece, but it definitely reminded me of one of the, you know, kind of vintage films with a vintage feel. Even the look of it was very dated, but in a good way, and that's what I appreciate. Zoe Saldana and Bradley Cooper, Jeremy Irons, Ben Barnes, they all did a wonderful job in creating character depth, and that is something within the art of acting to be appreciated. These are major actors, aka movie stars, enveloping themselves in these roles that make you forget exactly who they are. So I would highly suggest to watch The Words. If you're into movies with the great script, great character development, and it is beautifully shot, please give this film a try. Take a gander. It's what I did, and it turned out to be a really great thing. Also, I'd like to mention that I found this film on Amazon Prime, and if you haven't checked out Amazon Prime, I would suggest that you do so because it's really cool. There's a bigger variety of things going on there where you can just kind of scope out and look at, I mean, you know, there are some whammies on there, which I'll get to in later videos, but to stay focused, try out Amazon Prime. I would highly suggest it. And, you know, it's okay to venture out. It's okay to, you know, kind of swim in the seas of the unknown, because you never know where you might find something that is absolutely golden within the seas of the unknown. And please give this video a like if you like my reviews, and don't forget to comment or leave any questions or anything like that down in the section down below. And don't forget to check out my blog, keepingitshiny.com, and my other movie reviews, which are found on my channel. If you have not yet done so, subscribe for more movie reviews, because that's what I like to talk about. I'm super passionate about movies because I like to watch them, and I feel like everybody should have the heads up as to whether your brain is going to turn into sludge or you're really going to leave the space and time of the film refreshed, or you might feel. I'm going to tell you if the film is going to touch you or not. I'm going to tell you if the film is going to make a deep impact on your psyche. So check me out, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope everybody is safe and happy and warm, and this is going to be the end of my video, and you know what I say. If you're into it, watch it.